Hello, friends. Welcome back to Easy Talk English, the place where learning English feels easy and fun. Today, I want to talk to you about something that hides inside almost every English learner: silence. That quiet moment when you want to speak, but don't. When you could say something, but hold back. Maybe you feel shy, maybe you feel unsure, maybe you're afraid of being wrong, and slowly that silence starts to grow. It becomes your habit. You stay quiet, even when your heart really wants to speak. But what if I told you that silence isn't your weakness? What if silence could become your power, the secret key to building real English confidence? Let's talk about how to turn your silence into English confidence. Have you ever been in a group where everyone is speaking English and you're just listening quietly? You understand some words, maybe even most of them, but when it's your turn to speak, your mouth freezes. You feel the words in your mind, but they don't come out. You think, what if I say it wrong? What if they laugh? What if they don't understand me? So you stay silent. You smile, you nod, but inside, you feel small. I know that feeling. Many learners do. But here's the truth: silence is not your enemy. Silence is your teacher. Silence is your space to grow, because inside silence, something amazing can happen. You learn to listen, to observe, to prepare. And when used the right way, that silence can become your greatest strength. Let me tell you a story. There was a student named Lena. She was very shy. In her English class, she almost never spoke. Her teacher would ask questions, and Lena would look down at her book pretending to read. She felt scared to make mistakes. But one day, something changed. The teacher noticed that Lena always listened very carefully. So the teacher said, "Lena, I can see you think deeply before speaking. That's a good thing. You don't have to speak fast, just speak when you're ready." That small sentence gave Lena courage. From that day, she started to use her silence differently. When others spoke, she listened actively. She repeated their words in her mind. She learned new phrases and she practiced them quietly. And when it was her turn to speak, she said just one simple sentence, but she said it clearly and confidently. Every week, she added one more. Slowly, her silence turned into speech, and 6 months later, she was one of the most confident speakers in the class. So you see, silence doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're preparing. Silence is not the absence of English, it's the beginning of it. But the key is you can't stay silent forever. You must use that silence to grow stronger. Let's imagine that silence is like the time when a seed is underground. You don't see the plant yet, but it's growing roots, it's getting ready to rise. Your silent moments in English are like that. You are learning, collecting words, shaping your confidence. One day you'll bloom, your words will flow naturally. Now, let's make it real. The next time you are in an English conversation and you feel silent, don't panic. Don't think, oh no, I don't know what to say. Instead, take a small pause. Smile. Breathe. Silence is okay. Even native speakers pause to think. You can say simple fillers like, let me think, or that's a good question. These small pauses buy you time and show confidence, not fear. Sometimes silence happens because you're translating in your head. You think in your language first, then translate into English. That takes time. So you stay quiet. But you can use this silence to slowly start thinking directly in English. Try to describe things around you in English, in your mind, without speaking. When you see a car, say in your head, that's a red car. When you drink tea, think, this tea tastes nice. That silent thinking builds your fluency from the inside out. And don't underestimate the power of listening. When you listen actively, you absorb rhythm, tone, and natural expressions. Every sentence you hear becomes part of your English brain. So instead of feeling bad about being quiet, tell yourself, I'm learning right now. Because listening is not silence, it's preparation for your next confident sentence. But let's be honest, silence can also feel painful sometimes. You might see other people speaking easily, laughing in English, and you feel left out. You might think they're better than me. But please remember, everyone has their own speed. Some people speak more, some less. You don't have to compare yourself. What matters is that you keep moving forward. Even a few words a day is progress. Let's try something together. Imagine you are meeting someone for the first time in English. You feel that nervous silence inside. Instead of trying to say something complicated, start with something small. You can say, "Hi, how are you?" or "Nice to meet you." Simple words can open big doors. Once you start, confidence grows naturally. Confidence doesn't mean speaking perfectly, it means speaking anyway, even when you're not perfect. When you use your silence wisely, you learn to control your thoughts, to stay calm, to think clearly, and that calmness becomes the foundation of your confidence. You see, silence gives you space to breathe, and when you breathe, you think better. Many people speak too fast and lose control, but you, with your calm silence, can speak slowly, clearly, and confidently. So don't try to kill your silence, transform it, make it your power. Let me share another story. There was a man named Victor who worked in an international company. In meetings, he was always the quiet one. He listened to everyone but rarely spoke. One day, his boss asked him directly, Victor, what do you think? Everyone turned to look at him. His heart started racing. He could have stayed silent again, but this time he took a breath and said, I think we should try a simpler plan. Just one sentence, but it was a good one. The boss smiled and said, That's a great idea. That day, Victor realized something important. You don't need to speak a lot to be confident. You just need to speak from clarity. Confidence grows one sentence at a time. If you are someone who feels silent in groups, start practicing in smaller ways. Talk to yourself in English for a few minutes every day. Say out loud what you're doing. I'm making coffee. I'm checking my phone. These small sentences build your speaking muscles. Also, use your listening silence to collect ready made phrases. When you hear someone say, that sounds great, or I totally agree, repeat it in your mind. These phrases will become your tools. Next time, when you need to say something, they'll come out naturally. And please never call yourself quiet in a negative way. Quiet people often have deep thoughts. You notice things others miss. Use that to your advantage. When you do speak, your words will carry weight. Many learners think that being silent means being less confident, but actually, true confidence often looks quiet. It's calm, steady, and sure. Confidence is not loud. Confidence is peaceful. So the goal is not to speak all the time. The goal is to speak with purpose, with clarity, with belief in yourself. You might be thinking now, but how can I start speaking more? The answer is one small step at a time. Start by answering small questions. If someone asks, how was your day? Say one full sentence. It was good, thank you. If you're online, join English comments, leave a short reply. The more you use your voice, the stronger it becomes. Also, remember, the silence before you speak is not empty. It's full of power. In that second of silence, your brain is organizing words, your heart is preparing your courage, and your voice is waiting for the right moment. Don't be afraid of that pause. It's a part of speaking. When you finally speak after that silence, you are not just saying words, you are expressing courage, and courage is the real meaning of English confidence. Every time you choose to speak instead of staying silent, you win a small battle. And every small battle leads to a big victory. So that the next time you feel silent, remember, you are not behind. You are just in your growing stage. Use that silence to think, to listen, to prepare, then speak, even if it's only one sentence. One honest, brave sentence, because every sentence you speak is a bridge from silence to confidence. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll look back and think, wow, I used to be so afraid to speak. Now I just speak naturally. That's how transformation happens quietly, slowly, but surely. So don't be afraid of your silence. Use it, turn it into your strength. Let it teach you patience, focus, and calmness. Let it guide you to confidence because your voice is already inside you. It's just waiting for the right moment to come out. And when it does, the world will listen. Thanks for watching Easy Talk English. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Keep practicing and see you in the next video. And tell me in the comments, when do you usually stay silent in English? And what's one small thing you'll do this week to turn that silence into confidence?